2024 presidential election between Donald Trump and Joe Biden as of July 13. Starting off with the West, I do think that Nevada will be a dead toss-up as of right now. I'm going to leave it as toss-up for now just because I think either Joe Biden or Donald Trump have a 50-50 shot, pretty much a coin flip chance at winning this. That's how close I think the state of Nevada will be in 2024. And moving down a little bit south, I do think Joe Biden will win the state of Arizona for a second time in the row, and I do think Democrats will win Arizona in 2024 with a narrow margin of about 1 percentage point. I do think Joe Biden will win Arizona by a tilt margin of around a percentage point, possibly even less. I think maybe 0.7, somewhere around there. I think Arizona will be extremely close in 2024, but I do think Joe Biden will win this state based off of the trends and how Arizona is trending overall. I do think Joe Biden wins it. Now, on to the Deep South, I think the state of Texas will be leaning towards Donald Trump. I don't think Texas will flip quite yet in 2024. I think give it some time. I think Donald Trump will pretty much win it with a comfortable margin, and I don't think Joe Biden will flip Texas in 2024. I think their hopes of that are pretty much not going to happen, and I think Donald Trump does win the state of Texas by around 5 percentage points to be exact in 2024. And now as for the Sunshine State of Florida, I think it is pretty much locked in Republican control. Moving on with the future, I think Florida is pretty much likely to safe, arguably safe, but I'm going to leave it in likely for Trump in 2024. It's pretty much a lost cause for Democrats moving on in the future. The next state is Georgia. I do think Donald Trump will flip Georgia in 2024. I think he has a legitimate chance at flipping it. I think he got really unlucky in 2020. I think if a lot of those Brian Kemp supporters can go over and vote for Donald Trump, I think Trump can possibly flip Georgia. I think he got really unlucky in 2020, and I think Donald Trump does have a fair shot at flipping it in 2024. I'm going to give Donald Trump a tilt margin for the state of Georgia. I think he does win it by around a percentage point. I think it will be very narrow, and I think it's going to be very close. Donald Trump could also possibly win it by even under 1% as well. That's how I think Georgia, that's how close I think it will be, but I think Trump in 2024 does narrowly win in Georgia. As for North Carolina, I think the same thing. I think Trump's going to win North Carolina. I think it's going to be close, just like how it was in 2020. But if Joe Biden couldn't win it in 2020, I don't think he's going to win it in 2024, considering how unpopular he just is. I don't think Biden's winning North Carolina in 2024, and I think Donald Trump will win North Carolina by around a tilt margin of around 1 to 2%. I'm going to leave it at around 1.5 to be exact. North Carolina 2024, pretty much a tilt margin for Donald Trump. And now moving up north or to the Midwest, both Ohio and Iowa are pretty much considered likely to safe for the Republicans and Donald Trump. And as for Colorado and New Mexico, those are pretty much safe to likely to solid Democratic states. And now moving up north to the state of Minnesota, I think Joe Biden will comfortably win Minnesota. There is just no trends and no sign of trends or no sign of hope for Donald Trump in 2024 in the state of Minnesota. I think Joe Biden will win Minnesota by pretty comfortably, lean to likely, arguably likely, but I'm going to leave it as lean blue for now. I don't think Trump will win Minnesota. On to the Rust Belt state of Wisconsin. I think it's going to be very close, just how it was in 2020, and Biden only winning the state just by around 0.7 or 0.6% in 2020. Him being way more unpopular now, I think gives Donald Trump a high chance of flipping Wisconsin, and I do think Trump will win Wisconsin in 2024. Narrowly, it will be very close, and I think Trump will take the states by under 1%. I think he's going to narrowly win it by under 1 percentage point. And now, as for the state of Michigan, I think Joe Biden will win the state of Michigan in 2024. I doubt Donald Trump will win it, and it might not even come close. You can argue that, or you can argue it's going to comfortably for Joe Biden. They just recently reelected Gretchen Whitmer by double digits, securing her victory in the 2022 governor's midterms. So Michigan, no sign of it trending to the right. I think Joe Biden will win it by a lean margin. So Michigan in 2024 will be lean blue. And then for the state of Pennsylvania, I also do think Joe Biden will win Pennsylvania in 2024. It was close back in 2020, and it's obviously going to be close in 2024. I have Joe Biden winning the state of Pennsylvania by around 1%. That's how close I think the state will come down to. They recently elected both Democratic governor and Democratic senator, and they rejected the Republican Party in the 2022 midterms. Will that carry on to 2024 is the question. I think it slightly will, but Joe Biden does end up narrowly winning the state by around a tilt margin of just 1%. It's going to be very close. In the last state of New Hampshire, Joe Biden will win the state of New Hampshire in 2024. I think he's going to do that with a lean margin. He won it likely last time by around 7 to 8 percentage points. I think he's going to win it this time around in 2024 by around 5 to 6 percentage points. And New Hampshire is a very pro-choice state, so that's not going to help Donald Trump, and it will carry on for Joe Biden's victory. So as of July 13, 2023, I do think that Joe Biden gets 271 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 261. They are just a difference of 10. And I think whether Trump can get Nevada or not, it's going to be very close. And this election will be very close no matter who is the winner, whether it's Biden or Trump. The winner of 2024 is going to barely win, whether it's Biden or Trump.